All right. So we are going to start our metal art, and this is kind of a finished touch where we're going with it. So the first thing is we're going to come up with a positive word that's anywhere from 3 to 5. I have some people that have asked about doing even bigger. You don't want it to be too long of a word and too small, but we'll go ahead and say, okay, 3 to 5 is the general area where we want to be. So as you can see, I've got love started here. I'm going to go ahead and finish it. Some of the examples you'll see actually show where the letters are going just straight across the paper. What you don't want to do is just have like the word all the way on one side of the paper and not centered at all. But we'll go ahead and use this word right here, love. I've got the example of hope here. I've got the example of sweet. I've got joy. These are all different ideas, and you'll notice the paper is going this way or it's going up and down. So once you get the word done in some form of a block or bubble letter, we are then going to divide our paper into at least 5 sections, but I'm going to encourage you to get closer to 10 sections. When we divide this, we can go with straight lines, curved lines, we can go with angled lines, we can go horizontal, we can go up and down. There are so many different ideas that we could do here. So I'm going to go ahead and do like wavy lines, and they're behind the letters, so I might see a little bit of it here. So there's one wavy line. I'm going to go with a second wavy line, kind of following that. And then I think I'll divide it going this way with, again, wavy lines going like this. Kind of reminds me of a net. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3. So I've got about 12 sections here. So 12 is not even bad. You can see in this example, I have divided it with vertical and then like alternated lines going in the other direction. In this example, I started with basically the center of my O being the basis for where I went, and then I went out like this, and then I kind of rounded from there. You can see with the sweet here, I did very similar to what I did with the joy, except I started with angled lines. So anyway, this is the next step. Once you have your letters done and you have your background lines done, then you are going to transfer it to the actual metal piece of paper. It's really not paper, metal sheet art. So sometimes we have all silver like this one right here. Okay. Sometimes there comes in different colors. This one we have the option of doing kind of a copper tone color, or you could do it on this side and do silver. So I will leave it up to you guys as far as which side you would like to use. What I need in addition to this is a pencil for tracing my word and my lines, and I need a newspaper. So I am going to simply lay this on top of my tin. And the biggest thing about this is once you start tracing, you want to get the entire thing done in one sitting or one class period, the remainder of your class period. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. And I am going to start with my letters just in case I move a little bit. I could probably do my background without this if I had to, although I really want to use it as much as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and trace my lines. I'm pushing with moderate pressure. I mean, I am not like, oh, just pushing down so hard, but I'm also not going real light here. And you'll notice I'm not exactly on my lines. That's okay. I'm going to try to go as slow as possible and do a neat job, but I'm not trying to be a perfectionist necessarily. All right, so I've got my entire word done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my lines. Probably should have started not in the middle, but maybe at the top, but I think as long as I'm talking to myself, I can keep track of this and say, okay, I've done these two, now I've got to do this one. So one time I had a young lady come up and say, well, Mr. Wee, this is not transferring very well once she lifted it up. And I said, you know, that's not the end. We have one more process after this, and that's we're going to use a tool to make these lines even deeper. And I do think that the newspaper helps. It gives it just a little cushion. And it certainly helps to hold my paper in place. So this is going to be step number 1. All right, I got everything traced, and once I lift this off, you can see I've traced my word and the lines. In the next video, we'll talk about taking it a step further.